okay, we all good now, phone? Yeah, just kind of gonna keep that random shot of my new shelves in there for no adequately explored reason, but just sort of I started recording a previous attempt and the timer was up on the top, so I thought this bloody video was being shot upside down, and that would have been pretty shitty. Anyways, it's been a while since I've done a decklist video or a video of any variety. I mean, well, it was a few days ago since I did the Clash of Rebellions box, but I figured I might as well do another decklist here. I'm in the bit of a mood to do so, and this Seraph doll deck actually got me top 8 at locals. Before I just sort of bricked and scrubbed out at top 8 by Satellarknights, but Satellarknights, yeah. My meta is a lot of Satellarknights, and it's probably going to be a lot more considering they won Worlds and whatnot, and the next list isn't coming out until like somewhere October-ish. At least that's what we're thinking. Anyways, let's just get on with this. There's not a whole lot that's actually changed. I mean, this is the first list of the new format, so there will be at least 1 or 2 changes. So I'm running the 10 Shaddolls, so I've got 3 Falco, 2 Beast, 2 Squamata, 2 Hedgehog, and the 1 Dragon. I actually found myself in situations where I wish I had the second Dragon in Game 1, and like the second Hedgehog in like Game 2 or 3. It's kind of weird. Aside from that, I think the only real... I didn't actually do a whole lot of testing with this. I usually just sort of put the deck together and just go and do locals, and at times it just sort of works out, and other times it doesn't. Thankfully, I'm in this situation where it's actually been working out more often than not. I guess if anything, you know, it's not actually been too bad for me. I still think it might have been a better idea to maybe run a third Squamata, but that would probably entail cutting Falco down to 2 or something like that, and I don't really want to do that because I liked 3 Falco. I think it's good for grinding games. Stick chair combo. The stick chair combo in this deck is actually kind of grown a bit rusty on me. Well, not so much rusty, but I'm just sort of getting burnt out on it. So I'm probably not actually going to play this deck again after today. I'll probably try to play some of the Builder Shaddolls, maybe something that runs Light Swan, something that's a bit more fun. But I think considering Satellarknights won Worlds and meaning they're inevitably going to get hit, I should probably be playing the shit out of my Satellarknights until they get hit. Get as much fun as I can out of playing an incredibly helmet deck, which is why I'm considering next Sunday when I take Satellarknights, most likely be taking Satellarknights at least, I'll probably just take one of my cricket helmets just to reflect the fact that I'm playing helmets. So that aside from that, I did actually open stick chair a couple of times. It was pretty good, particularly against Sylvans. They went first. They didn't open a very optimal hand, and I just went nuts with Fusion Play to bait out the back row, which is a Book of Moon, and then I just went stick chair and just pretty much ripped them apart. So it's pretty good, but it's just a bit... It's kind of a clashing of normal summons with Mathematician. That's why I'm only running 2, and I actually cited one out, so I'd like to be able to get rid of this weird little droplet on my phone, but if I do that, I'm probably going to end up accidentally stopping the video, which would suck. But anyways, oh, where's the focus on that one? Jeez. Focus, son. Okay, that's better. Yeah, just the 2 Mathematician, because I didn't want too many normal summons to clash with the Seraphs. Although I was probably better off with the Mathematicians anyway. That's the one thing I'm starting to sort of get irritated about with this deck, is the normal summons. 2 Archlord Christia. Didn't get this off anywhere near as often as I would have liked. I'd usually side one out because I'm running the defusion combo in here as well. So I'd usually side out the defusions as well as this. I think there's only maybe 1 match I didn't side that out, and that was because it was Cyber Dragons. So defusion was just good for that situation in case they power bonded. Double effect Veilar. It did what it does, what effect Veilar does. BLS does what BLS does. For the spells, triple of each fusion. I didn't really see any reason to deviate from this at all. Sometimes I would side out one Shadow Fusion if I was playing against a deck that didn't really rely as much on their extra deck as much as maybe like Satellarknights or something like that. I don't think I actually got much in the way of those matchups, so I usually just kept it in. 2 defusion because it is the combo, and I actually left this in I usually side out, but I left it in against Cyber Dragons for the aforementioned reasons from earlier. And then booked Soul Charge Raigeki. These were actually kind of eh. I mean, I actually did, because like I did win a match by top decking Raigeki. The only thing with that was it wasn't actually necessary to beat the game. It was against Sylvans. We both had a Leo on the board, and so my plan was basically to just crash Leos and then use El Shadow Fusion to go into Construct, which would have just attacked the game. So Raigeki was really not that necessary. It's just for some reason I feel like I have to play it just for the quick monster removal. But I think people are just starting to just not run it anymore. Just because they want to focus more on their combo stuff. Just running the 6 traps, 2 Mistake, 2 Shadow Core, 2 Call the Haunted. I think that lack of the third Call the Haunted might have kicked me in the pants here in regards to getting the stick chair play off. 2 Shadow Core was actually pretty fine. I'd usually side one out. I didn't have too many issues with that. And Mistake, I hardly ever saw Mistake. So I may actually just sort of minimize the amount of traps in this just to maybe quicken the speed up in future builds, which may or may not even run the stick chair combo, because like I said, I'm getting a bit burnt. What kind of accent is that? Bit burnt out of on this deck. So just hit the tripod there. Hopefully the phone does not fall off. Let's fit it back into place. That's better. Okay, so extra consists of the very obvious triple construct. It's triple construct is construct is construct is construct is construct. No, I don't think you quite understand. No, I'm not even going to just move anyway. Anyways, with my rambling aside, 2 Winder, very good. I actually had a couple of games where I went into double Winder, so more than justified. 1 Shek, I think I went into it maybe once or twice, not a whole lot. Annoyatellis I never actually summoned, because I've never really found myself in a situation where I really needed this for anything other than a beat stick, and even then I didn't need it for a beat stick anyway, so that's a bit of a thing. Leo, I think I summoned it twice. Trish, I was summoned once, but it got finished, which pissed me off. It then pissed me off even further when I went for the BLS play, thinking I baited out his back row only for the BLS to get bottomless, which greatly saddened me. Clearwing, I summoned this a couple of times. Yes, this is the one I pulled. Okay. Armadeus, I think I summoned maybe once or twice. I think I summoned it at least once in the tournament, so it put in maybe not quite as much work as I would have liked for it to, but I got some good use out of the synchro engine, with the exception of Trish. Diamond, Deltaros, Illuminite, Ouroboros for the Xyz engine. Once again, no just generic ranked 4s like Exciton or anything, because I never actually found myself in any sort of situation where it would have been useful, B, I would have really needed it. So I didn't bother with it. I just stuck with the stuff I could get out through the Seraph engine. I got Ouroboros out a couple of times. I got Deltaros out a couple of times. Game 1 against Sylvans, I actually went into this, attacked, and then made the diamond so that it couldn't excavate or anything like that. Illuminite, I actually didn't summon once, because I usually just reserve Illuminite for situations where my opponent doesn't have an overly huge board. I could have easily done it against Sylvans, but the Deltaros was just a far better play, because Diamond would just seal off their plays and stuff like that. So Illuminite ultimately never actually saw any play today. It's still good in theory, and it has actually done well enough in practice. Now, where's the side deck? Here it is. Anyways, this side deck, I'm not going to lie, it kind of sucks. I did not modify it a whole lot from the last time I built it. I actually didn't modify it really at all, but I think I did a handful of tournaments and stuff like that before this one that I never actually just bothered reporting on. But anyway, so just get this over and done with. I'm just running the 2 Denko Sekka because I found myself clogging with 3. I don't know how, but I guess it has something to do with the fact that I was opening Denko, particularly against the Satellarknights, whenever I sighted it in. So that was a bit of a thing. I then sighted the 2 Matons. Never actually sighted this in against any matchup. I think I might have sighted it in. I think I might have sighted it in against one matchup. but I think that was about it. Battalion, I think Battalion's meant to be just an incredibly crappy out to towers. It's meant to be like a spicy tech thing, but it didn't really work out, so I'm going to cut it. 2 Lancia, should probably go with Iron Walls instead, but I figured Lancia works just because of the light synergy with BLS. 2nd Dragon. My next build of Shaddolls is going to run 2 Dragon, so it's going to main deck 2 Dragon, so that's not going to be a thing anymore. 2 Moon Mirror Shield. Yes, I know, it's stupid. It's literally just a towers out. Never actually got Cliff Forts, so this never actually was seen. 3 MST because it is MST. Yeah. Then the 1 Fairy Wind. Again, for Cliff Forts, never actually saw the Cliff Forts, so this was entirely useless. And Malevolent Catastrophe. In theory, this thing is meant to be brutal. In execution, it flopped majorly. One of my earlier tournaments, actually, I lost as a direct result of playing my own Malevolent Catastrophe because I used it against Cliff Forts. And I blew up their Pendulum Scale, which allowed them to cowboy me for game. So I decided, you know what, this card is a piece of crap and I don't want to play it anymore. I still played it today, yesterday. And the one actual positive note I could say about this card is that I did actually use it against the Tellers and blew out their back row. The only issue was, by the time I did that, the game had already been lost. So it didn't actually matter to him whether he kept his back row or not, because the attack that he went through, I couldn't actually stop, and it won him the game. So it's unfortunate, but just by looking at that, the theory behind it is pretty solid. Although I think it's really just a bit superfluous to have it in the first place, so I'm probably not going to run it again. So that's the list for my actual tournament that I went through. Like I said, got top 8. I think I finished up 6th after Swiss. So round 1, I played against something that I 2-0'd. I can't remember for the life of me what it was. It was Battlin boxes. It was a kid just running Battlin boxes, so I 2-0'd that pretty easily. Round 2, I played against the Tellers. That was my only loss in the rounds of Swiss. I had too much back row to deal with in game 1. Game 2, I managed to seal him off with Denko and then basically just push over him for game. And then game 3, I did a horrible, horrible misplay where I did construct Denko play and then didn't attack. Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about it then any further, so I ended up losing that. I don't think it actually affected my... I don't think it actually affected me that much. Because he just went basically... Because he basically went Dweller and then Raigeki board, which was rather saddening. But, sucks to be me then. Round 3, I can't remember if that was the... dearie me, what was it? I can't remember if that was the Cyber Dragon deck I got round 3. It was either round 3 or 4. Oh jeez. I know I won round 3. Assuming Cyber Dragons was round 4, I won that 2-1 because I actually kind of just played a little bit way too conservatively and then just sort of got smashed by Cyber Network, which was sort of saddening. But then I game 2 and 3 just ran over the top of them. And then round 5 was against Sylvans. I opened the Nuts game 1, as I've alluded to earlier, made the Diamond. He then opened the Nuts game 2, soul charged for 4 turn 1, and ended up with a board of Flame Metal and what was it, Felgrand, and also had a extra Hermitry just lying around. I tried to get over that, but it didn't work out as well as I would have liked, so it kind of sucked to be me there. And then game 3, I think he made Flame Metal again, but I managed to get over the top of it and basically just push through for game. So that was pretty much it. And now that I've actually stated that, I actually remembered round 3 was against Piper Chaos. I didn't actually know it was Piper Chaos until after the match when he actually revealed Kinkabaya and Mystic Piper in his deck. He never actually saw them at all during the match. So he basically had to sit behind Caius and Marshmallow over the course of the game. He actually did get Utopic Future out and was rather annoying to get over, but I managed to push over that in game 2 and ended up winning that. So that got me my 6th place finish overall. Then I went up against the same Satellarknights player as in top 8 that I did on round 2, and both games I wrecked. Not really really bad, but it was enough. He had the back row to pretty much cover anything I did, so that was a swiftly 2-0 loss right there. So It sucks to be me, but oh well, whatever. It's still a top 8. I'm not going to complain too much about it. But that is about it for this decklist video. Now, this is the part where I go and convert it and then wait about an hour and a freaking half for this thing to upload. That's kind of what's been putting me off of uploading stuff, is because for some reason my upload speed is ridiculously low. So that's a bit of a thing. But anyways, see you for whatever it is that I do next.